How do everyone, and welcome once again into my home. Today is Saturday, 17th March 2012, and I'd like to show you what I've done to my Easter 2012 platform. I was watching a video on YouTube of someone, I believe it was Dave Clark Lumber, and the title of the video was Space and Military Train Night at Dave's. And the video, to me, the most important thing in it that I got was that it featured the, I believe the number is the 175 Lionel post-war rocket launcher. And the song playing in the video was Earth Below Us. And it's just a really cool video, and it really inspired me. So what I started to do was revamp the Easter layout. I thought I had it done to my satisfaction. And I've got to tell you, when I originally designed the track plan on the layout, I did it in the basement, and the layout was sitting up off the floor on 2 stacked quart paint cans. So the perspective of viewing the layout was looking down at it, and while it really looked good to me down in the basement, when I brought it upstairs and set it up, you kind of basically look at the layout from sitting in chairs, unless you're standing, of course, but it changed the whole perspective on how the layout was viewed. So I wanted to do something to improve the visual on the layout from the vantage point that you see it upstairs in the living quarters. The first thing that I had done, and let me get in here and I'm going to give you a tour. The first thing that I had done was shorten the trestle set. Previously it ran the full length of the layout, and this is more in line with the trestle set that was featured using Super O-Track on the D291 dealer display. And we thought it looked a lot better with a smaller loop on the trestle. And after that, this starts snowballing. One thing led to another, and I wound up securing for myself a post-war rocket launcher, which is in really good shape. And you can see it here in the video. And I'm just going to pan down here with the camera, and there's a controller mounted on the side of the platform. Being inspired by this video that I saw, and really being inspired by the rocket launcher, the thought was that the original Easter layout was kind of looking too much like Christmas, and I wanted to differentiate this layout from the one that I set up at Christmas. And as I said, one thing led to another, and I thought, while the Christmas layout is based on a 1950s dealer display layout, maybe we could set this one aside by designing it so it resembled a 1960s era Lionel layout. And as most Lionel fans are familiar with, the 60s were kind of like a space and military era on Lionel. So we started to go with that theme. The accessories that are on the layout, I've kept the rotating beacon, and of course the control tower. And I remind everyone, this is a modern version of the control tower that has been custom painted to look like the original post-war one. And of course, moving over here, we do have an original post-war 175 rocket launcher, and I gotta tell you folks, this is absolutely the coolest accessory that I've ever owned. I love it. It's a blast, literally, pardon the pun. And I've kept the floodlight tower, and that's an original post-war item. And then to kind of go with the 60s theme, I've included this Lionel radar tower, and this is the version, I think it's from the 90s. Okay, track-wise, aside from shortening the loop that the trestle set supports, I've redone the bottom a little bit. I've added this siding here, and what brought all this on, once I shortened the loop of track on the trestle, it allowed me to expand this side of the figure 8. And eventually it came to pass that I put another set of switches, one here and one over here by the caboose, with track in between. So now I can either run the train on the bottom in a loop, or I can do it in a figure 8 method. And I brought one of my cars down from my attic layout with a tank on it. And that's an original post-war car, but the tank is made by Auburn Rubber Company. It's a vintage one, and I kind of painted the World War II era stars on them. And the name of this tank is Lulu Bell, and that was inspired by the Humphrey Bogart movie Sahara, where his tank was named Lulu Bell. So that's kind of cool. I've changed the location of this stream. Before it ran back in here where the track was, but to get the track there we had to move the stream, and there was minimal redesign on the road involved, and put the stream in there, coated it with a clear acrylic and this piece of lumber that I'm using, or stick if you would, for a pointer. I have several of those laying around, so I cut them and lay them over the bridges, which gives it this nice little three-dimensional effect. And I've also done that where the track crosses over the stream. As for an item of funkiness and whimsy, I found this little knick-knack in the basement of a dog jumping up on a water fountain. And keep in mind, this isn't a scale layout. I want it to be fun. I want it to be 60s. So I stuck that in there. And one of my favorite cartoon characters is Marvin the Martian. So I've gotten a little Christmas ornament. I think it's a Looney Tunes Christmas ornament. And there's Marvin with his blaster raised trying to plant the Martian flag. And he's sort of horning in on Gort's territory. And you can see Gort here guarding the rocket launcher. Let me bring the trains around and talk about them just a little bit. Let's get this guy over here. Okay, featured on the layout is a post-war U.S. Army Transportation Corps switcher, number 41. We used to have one of these when I was a child. It got broken, and we don't want to get into that, but I've gotten another one on eBay. And also here, a post-war Lionel 3519 satellite launching car, and the post-war Lionel Minuteman car, and one of the many post-war Lionel cabooses, number 6017. So that takes care of what's currently running on the trestle set. And let me bring the train on the bottom around here. An original post-war Lionel 202 Union Pacific Alco, and then I have the Lionel rocket car. This is the post-war Celebration reissue that I picked up, and I also thought what might look good on this platform is the Timken box car, and this is another reissue, whether it be post-war Celebration or so. I think it was taken out of a train set breakdown, but it's a reissue. Even though they're not original post-war, they still look great on the layout. And right now, Gondola 6112 with the canisters, and that comes with a set that I had when I was a child with the Union Pacific 202 Alco, and we're also featuring the post-war 6257 SP caboose. I do have ordered, but it didn't come in yet, the Lionel Mercury capsule car, and of course that's going to be a reissue, not the original post-war one. So my thoughts are that I have the equipment and the accessories from the 60s pretty well covered, again, even though some of them are reissues. And I had this pink Christmas or Easter egg tree on the platform, and I'm sitting here thinking one night, and bear in mind, when I was a child, my parents bought an aluminum Christmas tree, and that year it absolutely ruined the Christmas for me. I totally hated this thing. But I was sitting here thinking, if you're going to do a 1960s based layout, what would be the perfect thing to go on it, and the only answer was the much hated aluminum Christmas tree. So I turned that, I've got a 4-foot pom-pom Christmas tree on eBay, and if you'll bear with me just a moment, I'm going to take the box out from it. Okay, this is right down here. It's called the Sparkler Pom-Pom Aluminum Christmas Tree, and it was made by Star Band Company in Portsmouth, Virginia. And the box is in really great shape. Let me just spin it around. There's, I guess it's a shipping label. It was sold to F.W. Woolworth Company in Rochester, New York, and the date shipped was 9/24. It doesn't say what year, and the number of pieces in the box, of course, are 51. The tree has 37 branches in it, and it's in gorgeous shape. And I did a little research on decorating aluminum trees. Of course, the research found articles dealing with this tree at Christmas, which recommended one color ball be used, or at the most 2 colors. And I kind of think it looks best with pink and purple Easter eggs on it. And I've topped the tree off with a reproduction rocket from the Lionel 175 rocket launcher. And the pom-poms up here, the way they kind of fan out, make it look like maybe it's rocket exhaust. And we have Robbie the robot nestled in the tree, and Captain Kirk on the bottom, because I think this tree conveys a futuristic idea, and the space theme goes very well with it. So there is my retooled 2012 Easter Lionel train display based on a 1960s era Lionel dealer display. And I got to tell you, I absolutely love this. I think this aluminum tree is the icing on the cake, and it has totally blown me away. This looks, it looks far better than I'd ever expected. And I'm just loving this layout. I was thinking about doing a different one for next year, but I like this thing so much, I don't know, I might just stick with it again next year. Or if I do anything, maybe make it 6 inches wider so I could do something a little cooler with the track. But I hope everyone enjoys the layout. And after I post this video, I have another video that I shot with just the trains running. I hope everyone enjoys it, and I hope everyone gets a laugh out of it. And maybe some of you out there will even get inspired by it. So, happy Paddy's Day to all. Happy March to all. We all survived the Ides of March. And the next holiday, of course, will be Easter itself. Take care, everyone. God bless. Godspeed in your journeys. And have a great weekend. Bye-bye.